Yeah, so this game kinda slaps. This may sound hard to believe, but there was a time in gaming when battle passes didn't exist, games weren't broken at launch, and it didn't take 3 years for a game to actually have all of its content. Dishonored was born during this time. I remember playing this game and being blown away because up to that point, I hadn't played a game like it. With unique gameplay, excellent atmosphere, and world building, Dishonored was certainly a standout in 2012, especially compared to some of the other games that came out then. Now, 11 years later, I can safely say that Dishonored still holds up and, quite frankly, is better than most garbage that comes out today. So let's talk about it. Now, I'm not going to go super in depth. I don't have time for that. I'm on clinical rotations. But I am going to give y'all the rundown. Also, mild spoilers ahead, so skip here if you plan on maybe playing the game and you actually care about the story. So, quick setup. The game takes place in the fictional city of Dunwall, a sort of steampunk version of late 1800s London. The city is currently being overrun by a plague spread by rats, which is decimating the poor, while the rich throw big mask parties and stuff. I don't know. You play as Corvo Atano, a silent protagonist
Oh, brother!
and bodyguard to the Empress, returning to Dunwall after a voyage seeking aid from foreign countries. Immediately, you notice something isn't right.
Whoa!
No, not that. This guy wearing red, having a portrait done. I'm sure he's not evil. Anyways, you return to the Empress and her daughter, Emily, when all of a sudden...
No more. Not again. Mommy! No! Get away from her! Corvo! Mommy! Get away!
So, Corvo is framed for the murder of the Empress and the disappearance of Emily and is left to rot in prison. He's interrogated for months, but once they realize that Corvo is a silent protagonist and will never talk, he is set to be executed. But
Let's get that bread.
a group known as the Loyalists break you out with the goal of ridding the government of corruption, saving Emily, and reinstating her as Empress. Yes! So yeah, that's our setup. Let's get the negative out of the way. I think the game's overarching story is its weakest point. That's not to say that it's bad, and this is honestly a gameplay-focused game more than a story-focused game, so it has a decent, serviceable story. It's just that they try to subvert expectations, throw in some plot twists, but I feel like it doesn't fully reach its potential, as quite a few of the characters don't have a lot of time to be properly characterized. Like, remember Emily and our mission to save her?
Who are you? Why are you wearing that mask? Corvo? Corvo, it's you!
Gee, it sure would be nice if Corvo could talk now, wouldn't it? Now, where the game kind of lacks in its overarching story, it more than makes up for in its story within the missions. Here, take this for example. In one of the first missions, you see Granny Rags being harassed by the Bottle Street Gang. Now, you don't have to help her. It is an optional side mission. But, you know, if you're a gentleman, you know, you're gonna help.
You're red. Whoa, what the?
So, you take care of the bad guys for her, and she asks you to put plague in their little elixir dispenser. And if you do, she'll give you a reward. So, you infiltrate the Bottle Street Gang, and there you have to make the choice.
Am I really gonna defile this for money? Of course I am!
So yeah, anyways, you go collect your reward, you go complete your mission,
With the flip, the sauce, the brand.
and you're on your merry way. Now, fast forward to the next mission, you actually pass back through the area from the first mission, and you get a message that Slackjaw, the leader of the Bottle Street Gang, wants to talk. Turns out, he doesn't know who poisoned their bootleg elixir, but he's convinced the art dealer had something to do with it, so he proposes a deal. Get the code to the art dealer's safe, and he will take care of your target for you, non-lethally. Yes! Now, a true gamer will go open the safe before giving Slackjaw the code.
You brought me the numbers.
Regardless, though, he takes care of your target for you without you ever actually having to see them, and within the safe, you get something that will help you 2 missions from now. Now, I don't know about y'all, but for an optional side mission, that's pretty spicy. I'm sure this option arises in some way, even if you don't help Granny Rags in the first mission, but it's the feeling that it did happen because of my choice that makes it feel more meaningful. The game's dialogue, world, and mission outcomes adapt to your choices, and it really helps you as the player feel that your actions are contributing to the story. Alright, but enough baby talk. What about the graphics? I'm of a belief that art style is more important than graphics, simply because you can have super insane graphical fidelity, but if your art style doesn't match up with either your game's setting or just what you're trying to portray, then what was the point?
Bruh.
Thankfully, while Dishonored may not objectively have the best graphics, Its art style is spot on. The game has this oil pastel water painting look to it, and it fits the depressing setting vibe the game is set in. Everything has this ruined, weathered look to it, even the characters, and the developers took time to put in a lot of small details to really sell the plague-ridden setting the game takes place in. All the graffiti that's on the walls, the bodies that litter the streets, and the rats eating people? This game's messed up! So anyways, how's the gameplay? It's amazing. So Corvo has all kinds of gadgets at his disposal. You've got a crossbow with 3 bolt options, a pistol, grenades, traps, and rewire tools. All of them have utility based on your playstyle. There are upgrades you can purchase too that actually have an impact. Like, look at the pistol. One shot, have to reload, pretty lame, right? Now look at it. I mean, I don't know about y'all, but that's pretty sick. On top of the gadgets though, you have these supernatural powers gifted to you by a figure known as the Outsider, who I'm not going to talk about, but these powers cater to different playstyles and you can upgrade them however you choose. Look at Dark Vision for example. At level 1, it just shows you where enemies are. But at level 2, not only does it show you people, but it also shows you items of interest like power cables, collectibles, gold. So if you want to know where everything is, upgrade Dark Vision. Personally though, my favorite power is Stop Time.
I'll be taking that. My good sir.
Pretty cool, right? So you have all these gadgets and abilities at your disposal, and it's up to you how you use them to complete your mission. Let's take a look at the Boyle Party mission as an example. So, for the Boyle Party mission, your objective is to assassinate none other than Lady Boyle. The only problem is, there are 3 Lady Boyles, and it's a masked party, so you have to figure out which one is your target. Now, there are multiple ways you can approach this. You can walk around the party and learn clues as to the identity of your target. You could find clues upstairs in the bedroom area, but you have to sneak past all the guards in the electric wall. You could assassinate all 3 Lady Boyles, but this would be pretty difficult to do quietly. Or, you could just... kill everyone at the party. But that's the cool thing. You can literally do it however you want. You could complete this whole game without killing a single person, including your targets. There's a way to take out your targets non-lethally, and you have to find it in the missions. It's just so cool. And I think that's what makes this game so unique. It gives you all of its mechanics early on, and it's up to you to decide how you want to use them to complete your mission. You need to get past the watchtower, you could sneak around it, you could teleport up to it and take out its power source, or you could rewire it and it targets every living thing nearby except for you. So many games these days try to talk about the freedom they give to the player in completing missions, but none have come close like Dishonored has for me. However, I do have 2 complaints about the gameplay. They're pretty mild, but I do want to talk about them. The first is that the AI will sometimes oscillate between being Terminator robots, spotting you from a mile away, or they're like this guy. So yeah, the AI may not always be the best, but I don't care that much about it in this case. My biggest complaint though is the chaos system. So at the end of each level, you get a little recap. You can see, how many runes you grabbed, how many people you killed, and that you missed over 3,000 gold. Oh man, well once you get over that fact, you'll notice your chaos level. So basically, if you kill a bunch of people in a mission, it causes high chaos, and the game's reasoning is that more dead bodies equals more rats, which means more plague, which means the city is getting worse. So if you finish too many missions with high chaos, you get the bad ending to the game. And that just kind of stinks, because you have all these cool things that can happen within the missions based on the choices you make, but there's only 2 outcomes for the ending of the game. And I think that's just kind of the most disappointing part of the game, which is why, once again, I bring up that the overarching story is kind of the game's weakest point. All in all, though, I think Dishonored is one of the greatest stealth games ever made. The freedom it offers you with its gameplay mechanics and level design remain undefeated, and I highly recommend playing it if you haven't. The game is $10 on Steam right now, And I'm pretty sure it goes down to like $2 if it's on sale. I mean, come on, think about it. $2 for one of the greatest games of the past decade, or like $70 for Redfall. I feel like it's a pretty easy choice, but I don't know. Anyways, that's all I got. Bye.